Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. I just about to head to town, but come out to let the girls out of the barn after they've been locked up all night because it was a little bit frosty here last night. And well, sad news. A little bit of a lesson learned here for sure. Unfortunately, so about a week 10 days ago, we brought all the ewes and lambs into the barn, sorted everybody off that had lambed about a month ago, and kicked them off into the east. And then the ones that were, just lambed the last week or so, or have not yet lambed, kept them in the lambing pen here. Now, when we sorted everybody off, I was missing one lamb, and we looked, and we combed the whole field. Gone. And we just made the assumption, predator for sure, predator. Anyways, I come out this morning because I had just let the sheep out, and I was looking for one particular ewe, Zoe, right there. I've been keeping an eye on her because she's due right away. And I see some magpies over here in the pen. So what had happened, I can surmise, what had happened is I brought all the ewes in at one point in time, and one of those lambs stayed out on the feeding area and looks like didn't move when I come in with the big tractor, set a round bale down right on top of it. So that's super shitty. But I guess, like I said, there's a lesson learned there. Before you set the bucket down the tractor, get out, check for lambs in the straw or in the hay, and don't assume that everybody's locked up in the barn. It's a little hard once they're all running around to kind of try and get a count of everything, but maybe you won't get a count of everything, but at least you can make sure you're not setting anything down on top of somebody. So that sucks. That's another loss, completely unnecessary. So anyways, we're gonna head to town here now. Charlotte's got an earache, and so she was up half the night in pain, and so we're gonna run into the hospital, see if we can't get her some antibiotics for what's probably an ear infection, but we'll let the professionals have a look at that. All right, so we're all done at the hospital. We were an hour 15 minutes in and out. I mean, as quick as an hour and 15 minutes can be when you got, a couple of little impatient children, but that's pretty good actually. But I mean, there was nobody else there, so I mean, it still takes a long time considering the fact there was nobody else there. But we're out now. We run over to the pharmacy here in Beaver Lodge and handed a prescription for some eardrops, and the lady's like, oh, I have this in stock, perfect. And she goes and she gets the box, like the actual box with the eardrops in, and then she runs it through, and then she's like, yeah, this will be ready in 10 to 15 minutes. And I was like, isn't that box full of eardrops with antibiotic in it? Like, is there something that you have to do? Do you really have to mix it up? What is it they do? What is it a pharmacist does for the 10 to 15 minutes when they physically have your medication in their hand? What is it they're actually doing? Like, I don't know, maybe they're making TikToks, I'm not sure. But so now we're sitting in the parking lot for 15 minutes. All right, so we're home now. The kids just wanted some cereal, so that's real easy. I'm gonna go for something a little bit extra this morning. So we've got some leftover steak from supper the other night. Got some sourdough bread. I think I'm gonna whip up some hollandaise sauce, and so I'm gonna go sourdough bread fried in the pan with a thin layer of steak, and then a soft fried egg and some hollandaise sauce on top. It's gonna be right uptown. It's a nice, generous slice. Try not to cut my hand off here. Oh, this is what I need the chainsaw. There we go. Oh yeah, that's gonna do just nicely. Good old T-bone from the other night. Just taking. Dress that out quick. Yeah, that can go to the dog. Now, I don't want a steak this thick. I want it about half that thick, so just gonna take some trimmings off. There, treats for the dog. And then we're gonna try and cut this way. All right, so I got that old T-bone butterflied up just like that. It's gonna go in the pan, a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic. It's gonna be fantastic. Speaking of butter, just melting a little bit here for my hollandaise sauce. And then And for cooking the steak and the egg and everything, we're gonna be using the old trusty not rusty cast iron pan. All right, got the old sourdough bread in there with a little bit of garlic butter, farm fresh egg. They can drop that in without popping any shell in there. Boom. Whisk up the old hollandaise a bit. Get that nice and thick. A little black pepper. It's time to remove the toast. Nice and brown. And we'll drop our steak in there. Oh, love to hear that sizzle. All right, steak's done. I sprinkled a little bit of shredded cheddar on there. Boom. We didn't overcook the steak, just put a little brown on it. That egg, as you can see, still nice and runny. Couple spoonfuls of the hollandaise. Like a king. What's amazing about this is the bread was baked right over here in the kitchen. The cow, the steak, ate grass right over there in the field. The eggs came right from the chickens on the other side of the house. And that hollandaise sauce, I whipped that up from a package that I got in that pantry over there. So it's all technically all homegrown, right? Fully on the farm meal. As close as possible. I haven't learned how to grow condiments yet. All right, with our culinary adventures over, you jumping off? Okay, I'm watching. Amazing. With our culinary adventures over, we're gonna hook onto the dump trailer here. Coming down, Finn? And we're gonna head to Valhalla to go get a load of peat moss. Or you wanna go down the stairs? Get a load of peat moss. Well, I'm up here north of Valhalla. Got the trailer loaded up here. Just look at this stuff. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. All dug out of an old swamp. Doesn't smell very earthy. I think it probably hasn't had a lot of oxygen for a lot of years, but lots of organic matter in there. Tons of organic matter. So we'll aerate it a little bit, chuck it in the greenhouse and see what we can make grow in it.